Guys, it's been a minute, but I went and bought something again. You know, one of those times when you don't really need any more projects. Actually, you really shouldn't have any more projects, because I haven't finished the ZX7. That's still in pieces. And certainly there's no more money. Because, yeah, stuff's expensive. But one of your dream bikes comes along, whoo, we got to just brush everything to the side and make it happen. What do we got? So a good friend of mine sent me a picture maybe a couple weeks ago now and said, are you interested? And I said, absolutely. Only if it's affordable, and this one was questionably affordable. Because I don't know if you know, this is an NSR250 two-stroke street bike. You know, that tells you everything you need to know, basically, because they don't make two-stroke street bikes anymore on account of emissions and EPA, and it's not great for the environment, but look at it. And so it's a 250 two-stroke, and I have wanted one of these for a long time. So this one, these things are getting kind of expensive, and by expensive I mean, like, you know, if you find one in good shape, it's like 15 grand, you know, on up to 25 grand for an immaculate one. Well, this one was neither of those. This one was a lot cheaper than that. So it's a lot of money, but these are they were not sold in Canada. This was a JDM and some European markets. This one I think came from Japan, and it came through BC. And just right away, you know, it's one of those things where you kind of have to jump on sight unseen, even though I saw a picture of it. But, well, we got ourselves into a bit of a pickle, because this is, the MC21, which is this generation, like the 1990 to 92, I think. They're not supposed to have those vents there. So this is Chinese, just like eBay bodywork. I mean, it's pretty easy to tell because it's pretty... It doesn't look like the OEM stuff, we'll say. And I think that tank's been painted to match it somewhere along the way. And nothing really matches. And the whole thing is pretty rough. You know, it's got these exhausts that don't really line up very well. And yeah, it's all a bit of a mess, which is perfect because it's affordable. Did I say it's affordable? I mean, sort of affordable, but for one of these, yes. I put a hustle on this week the ZX7 was parked right here, and that's back out to the garage, so it's time to work on this. And yeah, we got some work. Let's dig into it here. So first I should say that I have not seen it run. I saw a picture of it running, or sorry, a video of it running, I think in BC, before it was shipped to the owner that I bought it from. But I have not seen it run. I did check, and it does turn over. I don't I don't have a key for it yet because that went missing somewhere along the way. So I don't know what the inside of the tank looks like. That's going to be step one. Get a key, open the tank, see if it's full of rust. I kind of did. You can reach up in under the tank on these and just kind of get an idea if it's soft on the inside there. And it seems pretty good. It seems pretty solid under there. There's you know, there's some things that are not right. So this is going to be a full a full restoration, of course. I mean, these things are so cool. That. Oh, there's the mirror. Huh. Remember when motorcycles used to have like a trunk or like cargo space? That's going to be replaced. That's ugly. Another thing, let's see. I noticed that, so the bars are straight. Wheel is pointed that way. Are we thinking the forks are bent? I mean, fellas, we're no stranger to straightening forks. We can figure that out. Clamps would be kind of problematic. We got foot pegs are all bent. That one's not even the right one. I mean, that's kind of mashed in. So, what story do you think is behind this thing? Is it some wild Japanese through the mountains and then got flipped into the trees or something? Maybe it was on the sake or something? I don't know. I'm just so pumped. Look at it. This thing's going to be so cool to ride. They're pretty light. It's all aluminum swing arm, aluminum frame. Should make 50 odd horsepower. Should be absolutely awesome on the street. But I guess we got to get the fairings off and just see what kind of crimes have been committed underneath there. So I have a feeling that, you know, this fancy Rothman's bodywork is covering up some things that we will soon find out. This thing doesn't seem to have any like OEM fasteners on it. So, you know, it very well could have been purchased in a box or just a bunch of parts thrown together. Maybe it was in the junkyard. Do they have junkyards in Japan? Scrapyard? Anyway, I need more tools. All right. It's just kind of like everything's corroded and stuff too. And I don't know if that's like corrosion from coming over on the boat, like in a container or something. Maybe it came over as scrap. Who even knows? All I know is it's super rare and awesome, and I needed to have it. Remember when motorcycle companies used to build awesome bikes for new riders? Because if you were like 16 and just getting your license, can you imagine a bike that's cooler than this? And like not enough power to like really hurt you? Nothing fits real good either, I will say. It's just kind of, there's horns just kind of stuck in there. What am I missing here? Oh, yeah. I took a piece off. Look at us go. That looks a lot like an RS125 dial. We got cool brake hoses. One more thing. I was walking around it the other day, just because it's been a couple of days since we got it. So yeah, there's a little bit of crust on everything. So that's a cap for the pin on the brake pads. Notice that there's no cap or pin in this one. So the pads in there, I don't know if that comes right off of there, but the pads in there are not really held in by anything if that pin's not in there. So the pads could come out. Always inspect your stuff when you buy it, because especially when it's a crusty old bike like this. Let's get the bottom fairings off. All right, let's have a look. Got the fairings off. Those brittle. They're super brittle. I don't know if anybody's had like the eBay fairings before, but they're super brittle. They just, every little connector and stuff cracks. Let's see. It's all pretty crusty. I think it'll be beautiful like eventually, but it's all pretty crusty right now. There's not like a straight piece of plastic on it. So the cool brake hoses that I was talking about, which, let me see if I can zoom in. Earl's ones. But I noticed that one's cracked. And this one is, yeah, not great. So, yeah, they look cool, but those will have to go. And, well, I haven't even seen in there yet. Someone's been into the carbs somewhat recently. And it's very similar to the TZ video. I don't know if you guys watched the TZ video that we had. But it's a V-twin, the bottom one down there, the bottom cylinder, and then the top one. This is a 1990, what they call the MC21, so sort of early version of the almost last motor that they made for these. This one's got a wet clutch. Some of the newer ones have a dry clutch, and yeah, I would have liked to have the dry clutch, but you know what? We got the bike, so better than no bike. So we'll take that. And you know, old school Honda racing, very cool. I will say it's got the adjustable forks, so we got some damping adjustment on those, which on a lot of these you don't see. If you, well, of course I've been going through the videos of these things pretty well constant, and it's pretty hard to find an English video. A lot of them are Japanese, but you only ever see the non-adjustable ones on the early ones. But more digging, I guess. It's always interesting to see how these old bikes go together, especially when it's not something you see all the time. Those look very similar to the RS125 cylinders. Just crusty pipes, you know, right down in the expand chamber. Heavy compared to some of the stuff. As you listen to like some of the aftermarket pipes, they're quite light, but you can tell that it's got some weight to it. I will say on the exhaust side of things, with these aftermarket silencers, somebody has, looks like a cardboard gasket there. It did come with a stock set of, like a really good stock set of silencers that I think I might put on instead of these blue ones. Although those I'm sure are quite light, but yeah. Until we get like a proper set of pipes, then we'll put the stock ones on. Yeah. I think I just broke that, but yeah, that's brittle. Little chain slider. Wonder if you can still get those. I think you can still buy a lot of the parts for these. I did an eBay search, and it does seem like a lot of stuff is available. I do work at a Honda dealership, but the amount of parts for these that are cross-referenceable with stuff that was ever sold in North America is not a lot. Like some of the fasteners and this master cylinder and brake lever and stuff are available. That's probably available, but you know, a lot of the parts that are specific to this bike, probably that chain slider and other stuff, are going to have to come from overseas, overnight parts from Japan. I suppose I got to pull that top clamp on, but I should put a front stand on it, I guess. We're getting through it. One thing I will note is I think there's supposed to be an injector oil tank somewhere in here. Maybe that's a block off plate, which can only mean that I think we've eliminated the oil injection system. So maybe this is a premix only setup from now on. I'm gonna be honest there, I kind of blacked out. It's a few minutes, just a couple of minutes. We're down to the frame. Pretty much ready for the engine to come out. Forks apart. I didn't really find out what was bent yet, but we'll look into all that. Parts everywhere, of course. Bit of work, but it's coming. What do you think? Should we keep going? Should we? I guess it's probably time to tear into the motor because yeah, we're gonna have to look into that because it turns over, but who knows what's in there. The whole thing is just, where do we start? We got chain adjusters that are different, and a bit of RTV around the shift shaft seal. Who knows? To be continued.